Yeah, so I spent about 20 games trying to get somebody to play the Ponziani against me, and they just would not. So I'm just going to try some other things now. Okay, we're going to maybe spend this first episode learning the opening together. Why don't we try that out? I would really just like to not scrap this video and this series all in general. So knight to c6 is responded with c3, and then d5, queen to a4. Bishop to d7. Oh, that's e7. Oops, my bad. To d7. Bishop to d7. E takes d5. And then knight to d4. Queen d1. It's kind of interesting that we've had to move the queen multiple times here already. Interesting. Okay, so I'm already thinking that this looks like a very interesting spot. So of course he would take that. That was kind of the whole point. Rerouting the queen, wasn't it? So after that, it's knight to f6. Excuse me. Bishop to e2. Bishop d6. And that's kind of what this looks like here. So we see that we're probably going to be planning on castling short side during this game. So we'll have to get an opportunity to play that out in the future, but let's go ahead and take a look at the Danish counterattack, or however you would pronounce that. If you know, then you can let me know in the comments if I butchered that. So e4, e5, knight to f3, knight to c6, c3, and then instead of d5, we've got knight to f6. Interesting. d4. Very, very provocative move, if you ask me, especially with the center so well developed by these knights here. But yeah, that's what the opening calls for. That is what the opening calls for. E is going to take on d4. And then I'm going to march the pawn forward. Knight to d5. C takes d4. So we've got some really strong center pawns here for white. Bishop b4 check. Oh, we've seen that come out before. We've seen that move. We know when to do that move. Bishop to d2. We also know that this is the strongest way to counter that move. d6. Remember, I believe I've said one point in time that if e4 is played, at some point in time, black has d6 up their sleeves, and now we see it. Bishop to b5. I like that pin on that knight there. Kind of a little bit of a passive threat, but it is a threat nonetheless. Castles. And then castles. D takes e5. Oops, is that written down right? D takes e5. Yep. Bishop takes c6. And pawn on b takes c6. So they end up with a damaged structure on a really, really powerful attack pile. So right now we are dead even. Still, we're still dead even. but it looks like white has some interesting opportunities here, especially given black's double pawn structure. But that is the opening for the Janus counterattack of the Ponziani line. There's a couple of other very interesting things I don't really want to get into for episode 1, but there is an interesting idea here that I have written down in my notes I'd like to share with you guys. If d5 is placed instead of bishop to d3, then black is up 0.8. So the way that works is we're going to move 4. This is the last thing I think I'm going to talk about for the video. We're going to move 4. Okay, so move 4 is going to be d4, like we had come out in the game. And then knight takes e4. Whoops, is that right? I'm looking at knight takes e4. All right, so I want to show you guys one more thing here. This one's kind of an interesting idea, and we're just going to get right into it, and I think that's probably going to be a good stopping point for this video. Knight to f3, knight to c6, c3, and then knight to f6. Okay, so we're at move 3. Move 4 is going to be d4, and then takes here, d5. That is the most played move in this position here. And then bishop to c5. And this is the Volkovic or Wokiewicz, I don't know, depends on the language, I guess, gambit. And that one has a lot to it. So this is this is where we're going to stop for this video. But yeah. Hey guys, hope you liked what you got to see there. Of course, I am a little bit disappointed as well that it wasn't against real people. Like I said, I tried to play 20-some games, and not a single one of them took to the Ponziani Opening. So I'm going to be working on that for next week. I'm going to figure something else out. I don't want to scrap this series, like I said, so we'll definitely be figuring that out. But anyways, thank you for tuning in, and as always, happy chess.